Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dylan, and today I'm going to teach you guys how exactly I went about making a schedule for my college apps to make sure that I was staying on track. Time management during college apps is so important because you need to make sure that you don't end up falling behind, and it's so easy to fall behind, especially because there are so many essays you'll probably have to write, because not only will you have to write the typical Common App or UC essays or whatever essays for the actual application, but you will also need to write supplemental essays that certain colleges might ask you to write. For example, Stanford had me write 3 extra essays and then a bunch of mini short questions. So it was just so much work for that one application. And if you're applying to a bunch of schools, you need to make sure that you stay on track, because otherwise things will end up biting you in the butt. First things first, if you haven't already watched the video where I walk you through how to organize all of your college applications and create a college application checklist, then I recommend watching that video, and you can probably find it right here somewhere, because I'm going to be adding on from that video. So basically, once you have created a college application checklist, as you see here, this is the sample one that I made in my previous video, you're going to want to take this information, and knowing that you have these different essays that you need to write, you need to create a schedule, a week-by-week schedule that tells you exactly the things that you're going to be working on each week until the application deadline. Alright, so the first thing that I would say to do is, first off, just put these application deadlines in your Google Calendar or your Apple Calendar. Is that iCalendar? I don't even know. Whatever calendar service that you use. If you don't use a calendar service, I highly recommend using one. Put it in your calendar so that you know, and when you keep checking back to your calendar, you can see that date and it becomes clear in your mind when things are actually due, so it's not just this faraway land somewhere, I don't really know. Okay, so for this next part, you can do this in OneNote or Google Docs. I recommend OneNote because everything is just all together in one place and it's really organized. So what I'm going to do is create a new page. So I already have a section here. I just call it example, but you can call it colleges or whatever you want. So I'm going to click add new page within this, and then let me drag it to the top, and I'm going to just call it schedule. In here, I'm going to create a new table. If you know me, you know I love tables for this kind of thing. I love tables and I love checkboxes. So we're going to go in and click insert table, and I'm just going to go ahead and just do a table like that. Let's call this date, and let's call this what I need to do. Okay, I recommend going in and dating every single week you have up until your college application deadline. And I'm just going to structure this starting from September just because that's what I did, but obviously feel free to start way earlier. Honestly, it's better. So when I started this, I started it in September. Okay, I'm just going to base this off of September for 2020 and just go from there. Using the dates and stuff, but obviously this can apply to any year, ever, anytime, whatever. Okay, for this example schedule, I'm just gonna go from September-ish to December, but obviously I recommend doing it as long as you need for your specific situation, because for this case, I'm just doing it based off of December 1st deadlines for the college apps. I'm also gonna add a column. I clicked insert right, called what is due. And then I'm just gonna toss in my deadlines here. Okay, actually I changed my mind. I'm gonna go up until January because this example is just for Stanford, USC, and NYU. All right, and now like always, I'm gonna do some color coding and fancying up of this whole thing. So I'm just gonna go and color code the months so I can break it into different chunks. So I'm just gonna select all of September and then go under shading and shade it a specific color and go in and do this for all of the months. Okay, now that I've done that, I'm gonna click on these things, and they're really important. So I'm gonna put a star next to them. I can do that by clicking home, and then over here it says important. So I'm gonna star these things. If I want, I can also highlight them red or just make them super alert. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is plan out exactly what I need to do. Obviously, like all schedules, things change and things are gonna get shifted around, and that's okay. But you need a plan first, so at least you get started on the right track. I'm going to click this to-do box so that I get a checkbox, and then if I click it, I can get a little check mark, which is cute. And I'm gonna put check boxes for all of these things. Okay, so I've now input a bunch of stuff in this chart, and it might look a little crowded. So I recommend just maybe hitting a couple returns so it looks a little more spaced out so you can see it easier. Also, I'm just going to talk about this for a second. Give me one sec. Hear me out. This is not exactly what it'll look like or what your workload will be, because obviously it varies according to how many schools you're applying to, what schools you're applying to, and what they ask for. This is just an example. And so what I have here is like each week pretty much you're more or less drafting a new essay and then revising all the previous essays before that. So as you can see from here, yeah. But then also some things you might want to include here is if you're working on an art portfolio, like the things that you are doing for that, the steps you are taking for that, put that into here too, for the things you need to do each week. I would say start way before September also if you don't want to like get this crunched for time and be working like a workaholic. Start earlier, I would definitely say that. Put in stuff like whether you're working on your extracurricular activities, like the descriptions of those, or whether you're just like inputting stuff into the Common App and the UC app or whatever, because those things take time too. So put that into your schedule too. I know it's not here in this like example one that I made, but just so you know, I think it's really important to put literally everything that you're doing into this calendar. And then if things don't work out, then that's fine. Just like copy and paste it into the next week and make sure you get it done that week. I'm also just going to do some more like color coding and fancying of this up. So I want to highlight the ones that I'm actually drafting an essay rather than just revising. So I'm going to go select one and then highlight it, and I'm just going to highlight it turquoise because that's a color that I like. Also, I made sure to make the submission dates. As you can see here, I highlighted in red. It kind of looks ugly. I'm going to make the text white just so you can see it, but ooh, that looks worse. Okay, never mind. I'm just gonna leave it like that. As you can see in this calendar, I pretty much said that you should submit your applications way before it's due. Now, I don't mean like weeks before, but I mean at least a couple days before the deadline, you should submit your application. Please do not submit the day of or like hours or minutes before the deadline, because that will really, really stress you out, first of all. And then also, things happen like technical issues. Sometimes there's an overload on the websites and they crash. So just to avoid all of those problems, make sure you submit earlier because you don't want anything getting in the way of that. Oh, also some other things that you can include in this, like what I need to do, is the dates that you are asking for your letters of rec. I recommend doing it really early in the school year. I actually have a whole video on letters of rec, which you can check out. Asking your letters of rec, and then also like when you're gonna remind them, because you should send a reminder little email or something, so you just remind them to work on your essay, reminding them your deadline and everything. Also, you can put in here like when certain people are gonna review your essays, because also you can't just like keep revising your own and then call it great. Like you should probably have someone else read over your essays, and so I would recommend putting that in here too, but take account for the fact that it might take them, whoever's reading your essay, like a week or several weeks to get through it, because they have lives and they're busy too, so don't expect them to be like done with it immediately. So as you're going about this whole college application process, I recommend just keep referencing back to the schedule and keep looking at it, and keep, like, as you can see, you can like check box the things that you get done. If you want, you can also put this stuff in your Google Calendar or whatever calendar service you use. The reason I didn't put this all on my calendar is because then things get a little tricky and just hard to move around. Also, I'm doing this by week and not by day, so it's just easier for me in that way. Also, because I wanted my calendar to be like actual events and things that are going on, and then this OneNote thing to be things that I'm working on. So there's a difference between like what I'm actually doing, like oh, I have this event or this fundraiser or whatever, versus this is what I'm working on specifically for college apps. So that's why I like having a schedule like this, because it's very specific to just college apps and what you need to get done. So yeah, that's pretty much it. As a backstory, I just want to throw in there that like I did this for myself, and it really, really helped, because I didn't realize how much work I actually had to do and how many essays I actually had to write until I literally listed it all like this and found out that I would have to be writing pretty much like an essay a week, and it was kind of a lot. So make sure that you do this so you stay on top of it. That's all for today, folks. If you found that helpful, give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe, because I'm going to be making a lot of these kind of college app videos, and I hope they're really helpful for you. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.